This is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for this devotional. Today we are in Daniel chapter 6. I'm going to read verse 24. Before we do, here's where we are. So Daniel has been unjustly accused but saved from the lion's den. So both King Darius and Daniel are elated. They're reunited. But the next part of the verse and the story is what's left out of most children's books. Here's what happens. And the king commanded, that's Darius, that those men who had maliciously accused Daniel were brought and cast into the den of lions. They, their children, and their wives. And before they reached the bottom of the den, the lions overpowered them and broke all their bones into pieces. So what you have here is you have a bunch of evidence that actually these lions were hungry the entire time. They were just kind of waiting for the right meal. Now, some people don't like the brutality of this moment because they don't like that women and children were also thrown into the den. But let's be clear. Death is a reality for all mankind. I mean, even Jesus died. We don't like death because we perceive that in certain situations it's inhumane. Therefore, we conclude that certain forms or timings of death are unjust. And when God does or does not intervene, we perceive him, therefore, to be also inhumane. But this reasoning makes one primary assumption, one wrong primary assumption. It's that we are perfectly moral and we can make more acceptable judgments than God can. And we all know that that ain't true. But there is also one tiny little additional caveat here in this story. As we know, these officials were malicious when they made their plans and they contrived this elaborate scheme against Daniel and, by the way, King Darius, two of the highest ranking men in the land. But as they did, guess what they did? They determined the punishment. That the guy who disregarded that law would be thrown into the lion's den. But the twist is, they ended up determining their own fate. So essentially, evil was turned upon itself, and judgment came to them all. So we really shouldn't be mad at God. We should be angry at these men because it was the father and the husband of each household who decided their family's fate. So fellas, on a serious note, if you are a husband or a father today, you need to be careful as you make decisions in life. In fact, you need to be cautious about the partnerships you develop. You need to be cautious about the people with whom you spend time. And you need to be careful about the alliances you make, because every partnership and every relationship and every deal that you have has repercussions on your wife and children. They may not result in judgments like this one here, but they will have a ripple effect that will last a very long time. So if you feel convicted about this right now, I would cut ties with those people and cancel those deals before it's too late. Strong message today, I know. But do something about it. Don't do nothing. With that, I would ask you to share this with someone you know, and I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.